Hey, what's up, Prop Mob? Eduardo Talbert here. Today we have a super exciting project. We're making this creepy rotten gourd. Okay, now the teeth were pre-made, but I have a tutorial on how to make teeth. The eyes, I have a full tutorial how to make the eyes, so I won't go into detail with that. The resin, but all the links are below. Let's get started making this dude right here. For this project, we are going to use a gourd, right? And there's one of those ones that are filled with kind of like a hard foam, and they have these at the craft stores. This one says $5.98, but I'm 100% sure that I either used a 40% coupon or I bought it during the clearance, which is 70%. There should be links below for all the materials we're using. And I'm going to use the same technique as we did on the rotten pumpkins. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I want the eyes and the mouth and the nose. Eyes, mouth. Right, that looks like a face. Now keep in mind when we use the heat gun that if the hole is 1 inch, it's going to pull back a bit and be a little bit bigger as the foam melts. Right, let's carve this out. Now once we get here, we can carve this as deep as we need, right? As you can see, it's like a very dense foam, right? But it comes off quite easily, right? So make them as big as you need or as small as you need. Mine need to fit one of these. So that's a little small. So I'll dig it up to the right size. Still too small. That looks about right. So I want the eye to look like it's floating in there. So that looks good. Once we put the heat gun on it, this foam is going to go back a bit, retract, as well as this skin. This skin will curl up and pull back a bit, so it'll get bigger. So keep that in mind. All right, let's carve the rest of the face. For this next step, we're going to use the heat gun. I like this one. There's a link below because I've had it for like years and it's still working. So I made a ton of projects with this guy. But anyway, so we're going to heat this thing with two purposes. The first one is we're going to take that foam and make it all melty and nasty so it looks like guts. Like that. And the other thing is we're going to melt, or not melt, but soften the foam under the skin. And with the foam softened under the skin, we can squeeze the skin and make it get all wrinkled and lumpy and everything, so it gets this awesome, nasty, rotten texture. See that? Look at that. So that's how we do that, is with the heat gun. So I won't be able to talk too much during the process, so I'm going to be wearing my respirator because this gives fumes. This room is well ventilated, but still you gotta take your precautions, right? Otherwise, do this outdoors. I'm gonna heat evenly all over until I reach the point of melt that I want. And on this, I'm just going to heat it up a bit. Put some gloves on because it's going to be really hot. And we're going to squeeze the skin against the soft foam underneath. Be very careful with these edges, but take advantage that the skin curls in, as you can see, and it makes it look like the skin of a pumpkin that is rotting. Check out those wrinkles, that is nice. All right, keep going. This first step is done. Now I'm going to go to the garage because I got to do some spray painting that I cannot do in here. And we're going to use some black spray paint. We're going to spray in the mouth, nose, eyes to further melt the foam and also give it that black color. And then we're going to spray the outside of it and wipe it, spray and wipe to give it like a nice rotten texture. Then we'll come back in and work on the painting part. Let's go. That looks awesome, just like it is, right? But we're going to take it a step further, and I'm going to do a little bit of a mold with white and green paint. So let me show you. I have a little bit of white paint, a little bit of green paint, and I'm just going to barely get the sponge. There's a piece of a sponge, that's all. And we're going to just dab different areas where you would think mold would be growing. Just like that. I'm going to do the white first, all over. Just remember, less is more. And then we'll do green inside and around the white. Remember that mold grows in spores that grow out of a single spot, so it'll be in like swats of white, not just all over, but just little different isolated pieces. Look at the whole range of colors. So we have the white, the black right next to it, right here. The orange as well, bright orange right here. Looks awesome. This guy is looking awesome. It's a big mold spot right there. Different highlights in different areas, right? That looks great. Now with the green, I'm just going to go, for example, on this spot. I'm going to go in the middle of the green spot, barely accenting it with a little bit of green. And the technique is the same, just dab it, then get the excess off, and get in there with the green. That looks great. Let's keep going. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue, Mod Podge, any glue will work, and I'm going to add it to the middle of some of these big patches of mold, right? Like that and that. And just a little bit of glue to make it nice and tacky. And then we're going to dab it with some cotton to give it a little fuzzy mold. I learned this from Hollywood Hunter, by the way. It's one of my favorite channels out there. So just a little, just need to get it tacky. Right, so now let's pull some of this cotton out, not too much. Like that thin, see that? I'm just gonna lay it on top of those areas. We'll peel the excess off when it dries. The best thing to do is to uncurl. Looks like a cotton ball, but really it's like a roll of cotton. Let that dry. Alright, so now we just peel off the excess. Peel as much or as little as you want to get the effect that you like. Fuzzy mold right there. Check that out. Looks like he has eyebrows, huh? That is so cool. See it from the edge. Still not done. We're gonna cheat a little on this tutorial today because I am using acrylic teeth. These I ordered, they're not that expensive, but I put a link below. I've made teeth before on this channel and there's some tutorials for it, but I wanted to go ahead and get it done. I had these teeth in my drawer, so I'm going to use some of these. We're going to put them in our gourd. I'm using a whole top set. These are just incisors all the way to the canines, so the front teeth, and the same on the bottom. Right, so that's the bottom, that's the top. They smile like that. Alright, starting with the teeth, I have a hot glue gun here. And I'm just going to start placing these where I think they should go. That looks creepy already. Alright, next. Nice. And this foam gives a little, so you can push the teeth and give it the shape and position that you want. Alright. I'm going to do the bottom teeth, same thing. That looks awesome and creepy. Alright, let's keep going. Now I want a spider web from here to about here and this area, right? So I have some of this Halloween spider web thing. I'm going to try and glue it so it looks like a spider web. Nice. Now I might stretch this a little bit here and here, but this is it. I'm gonna cut the excess off down here. That's awesome. Now I'm gonna get a little spider to go right here. See, it's a spider right in the spider web. I went for a run. That's looking good. I'm working now on some eyes, right? Okay, so these, I'm not going to show you in full detail what I did because I did a full tutorial on how to make resin eyes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to make 2 eyes for this guy. And then we're going to embellish it with other things like this. Because every haunted house should have some flies. Link in the description. Here are the eyes. They turned out awesome. Right, see how shiny they are? Okay, let's put these eyes on this guy. To mount the eyes, I'm going to take these two, these are like bamboo skewers, right, that I cut 2 pieces off. And we're going to put those right into the eye socket, right in the middle where we want the eyes to go. Right, and we're going to glue the eyes with hot glue to the bamboo. I glued the flies right there and right there, so less is more. I have like 100 flies, but I think 2 is more than enough. So let me show you a close-up of this guy. And that is how you make a creepy or creepified rotten gourd. So if you like this project, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because that's what we do here in this channel. And you, all of us, we're called a prop mob. This is Monster Tutorials. I'm Eduardo Talbert, and I will see you on the next one. See ya.